What happened in practice for the Monaco Grand Prix? Now, for those watching on YouTube, I am sorry that this is how we're doing it. You know, we're just working with a little tripod on a camera with some, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a scuff job this weekend, but look, would you rather have content or no content?
Exactly. We're doing our best.
Let's talk about what happened in practice then, and we can give you a bit of insight as to what it was like down on the ground, live in Monaco. Unbelievable. Big thing was Alex Albon had a big crash at the end of FP1, which caused a red flag. I think James Vowles had an interview because we actually didn't see FP2. I was actually watching it on my phone and I caught the end of it at least. And James Vowles was saying that he went in 2 kilometres an hour too quick into turn 1 and then something about modular braking, which I absolutely understood. And then, that caused that crash. So just
he loves analysing an Albon crash.
He is. I'm not even joking. He's unbelievable, James Vowles. Like, the way in which he describes things is just... It's kind of similar to George Russell in some ways. They're both so incredibly analytical, and the words they use are just so beautifully crafted. They're like the Shakespeare of motorsport. But yeah, so that was Alex Albon who had a big crash. Someone who almost nearly had a crash in FP1 was Charles Leclerc, and you thought he had.
I was convinced because I just caught the replay, looked up at the screen, and because he turned in, he got a swapper on. I was convinced he'd hit that wall. Yeah,
it was great. So I didn't necessarily... I don't think I was looking at the screen at the time, and you went, "Oh, look, I hit the wall!" And I was like, biggest flop.
It's happening.
Oh, God, the powers are back live. Then we watched it back, and he did get a swapper into that chicane, didn't he? But just about managed to save it. So that was good. We then moved to free practice 2, and Verstappen was back on top. Come on, the Red Bull, Here we go. Come on.
Love it.
But again, it looks really blooming close at the front.
It does. This is why Monaco is great, because we've got a close race. You never know. Look what happened with Albon, right? That qualifying crash at the end, the practice crash at the end, we know it can happen in qualifying. It's happened to Verstappen twice in his career already, that needs to get that lap in at the end, and someone's crashed, and he can't get the lap in.
Speaking of crashes, Carlos Sainz had a little cheeky turn. To be fair, he had a near miss in FP1 doing exactly the same thing. This time he just turned in far too early and broke his steering arm and then into the wall. And you can have quite a hefty impact into there, but Sainz kind of hit the wall, I would say, quite well.
I can hear everyone in the comments going, not going to mention Leclerc in qualifying in the same corner.
No. When? No, never happened. Deleted from my memory.
But that is a corner that catches a lot of people out. What I think it is, as an expert Formula One, someone that's driven Formula One cars on the regular.
On the game.
Yeah. It's a rare bit of Monaco where you do actually have a bit of runoff area because you don't have that wall on the outside as you fly into that corner. So people really do attack it. And if you turn in a little too early, we've seen it so many times, little bump sends you just darting into the wall. Sainz did the same thing. But to be fair to Sainz, he's looked good.
He did look good up until that point. And interestingly as well, Verstappen at that same corner bailed so many times and went across, just knowing that instinct of, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel great.
He's learned his lesson.
There's a question from Roos Reports F1. Could you guys see a Sainz win this Sunday? Now, there is still a chance, for sure. I think confidence might have been knocked a little bit by having that crash, because, of course, he's got free practice 3 to kind of wind that confidence back up again tomorrow before we go into quali, but I don't know. I feel as though Charles Leclerc has something in the tank. If Ferrari genuinely do have a pole position worthy car, then it'll probably be Charles, but that's coming from someone that called him biggest flop, so I don't know what kind of powers I'm trying to use here.
No, Charles will have that extra speed in qualifying. It's just how much will he push it? Will there be a thing in the back of his mind? He's going for a 3rd pole in a row, which is crazy in Monaco. Quite something, and did the same in Baku. He is an absolute legend at street circuits in qualifying. So, fair play to Sainz. He has been on the pace.
He has.
A lot more to Charles, but we'll see. But I would expect Charles to be quicker when it comes to the actual, Q3.
The big boy lap,
The big
as they
boy
call
lap.
it.
That's going to be very juicy when that happens.
Question from Juan Pablo SF1. We actually saw Juan Pablo Montoya today walking into the paddock, which was quite cool. Would one-lap shootout qualifying improve qualifying in Monaco or make it worse? I love the current qualifying format for Monaco, but there is a lot of traffic and prevents drivers setting amazing laps. Look, I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Q1, Q2, be as you are. You have the traffic, you have the chaos, you have we haven't got out of the way, blah, 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 and that sort of stuff. Q3, one lap shootout. I don't want any more debate. It is that. That is the best format. No one else's opinion matters unless it's the same one as mine.
The thing is, though, Monaco. No, I would like it, but then there is part of me that's like, it is that jeopardy. But then when it does happen and someone crashes, it is really annoying because that, even though I love Monaco, the race is rarely good, and the final few minutes of Q3 is the bit of the weekend. Like, it's the best bit of the weekend. In my opinion, it's one of the best bits of the Formula One calendar because it's drivers going absolutely, flat out on a crazy circuit where one little mistake costs everything. And it is such a shame when that little bit gets taken away and people can't finish their laps. So if you had, one lap qualifying, you'd still get that excitement of whoever goes out last, because they're, you'd imagine what it would be was the person quickest in Q2, they'd go out last. So it's like, they're quickest. Can they do it now? Can they deliver? I think it'd be good.
Very juicy. FIA, F1, I hope you're taking notes because we got this. Question from Jones_RF873. Could Fernando actually win? Please allow him to. I think there is definitely a chance. Fernando Alonso looked really quick. I also want to shout out Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Had an amazing first 2 practice sessions. He's, of course, moved to Monaco, and it's like his backyard now. So he did a really good job, especially in FP2, I think. So there could be a little nice McLaren, maybe 5th or 6th place. If we don't know, we still don't know where Mercedes are really stacking up in all of this as well. One. Because Hamilton looked really quick at the start of free practice 1, and Tommy was like, "Oh my God, I've said biggest flop, and Mercedes are going to win."
They bolted the side pods on. It's a rocket ship. Oh my God! And then they were 6th and 9th.
Yeah, it wasn't where it seemed to be heading at the start. Okay, Mercedes, come on. But no, we'll see. We'll see where it all stacks up. I'm sure they're doing a lot of learning. This is not necessarily bolt it on and win the Monaco Grand Prix. They're just trying to see. Well, they're trying to see if it's better than the no side pod approach, which of course they're hoping for. But Lando, I think he could be in for a good result if he smashes qualifying.
He's good at Monaco. Let's not forget he lapped Daniel Ricciardo here a couple of years ago. Got a podium as well. So yeah, he's very good around here. It is one of those tracks where you do have certain drivers that can really hook it up and put in a good performance. So I just can't wait for qualifying. It's such a exciting
It's like race day,
moment.
isn't it? It's genuinely race day tomorrow in a lot of regards because it's more than 50% qualifying tomorrow. Yeah. I can't personally wait to see how that all unfolds. Now, we're going to go into a little bit of a chat about our Monaco Grand Prix experience. So I don't even know where to start. We got a boat. we got a boat from the hotel, right? So there's a little dock outside by the beach where a Red Bull boat was there.
Yeah.
So we docked that, got on the boat, whatever you call it. I'm not a boat person. And then it took us to the Red Bull Energy Station, which is just outside the paddock. That was insane in itself, just to be coming in in a boat and seeing all of these massive super yachts.
Yes.
All around.
One of them had an F40 on it. Unbelievable.
I mean, that's a flex in itself, isn't it?
Surreal.
So that was. I was happy to just go home then. To be honest, that was a lovely little boat ride.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So we arrived at the Red Bull Energy Station, where we were basically put for most of the day. We could obviously go and have a look at the grandstand, as you say, just before Rascasse, which was amazing. How close we could get to the cars. Obviously, we couldn't touch them, but it felt like we almost could. I don't think there's I mean, I can't think of, there's not much more room to actually gain in terms of getting close to a car, but I can't think of anywhere else in the world you can get as close to that.
Absolutely not. Not on a racetrack.
Look, I haven't even seen qualifying, so that's happening tomorrow and Sunday, the race, but I will gladly say that being here, seeing the cars, having the opportunity to sit in like the grandstand, for example, near Rascasse, that Monaco absolutely deserves to stay on the calendar. It is a completely different experience, I will say, watching on television to being here, because when you're actually here, you can really, truly respect the craziness of these drivers to go as fast as they are around here.
And the fact that this circuit is even here. Like,
Yeah,
you look at...
how are they hosting a Grand Prix here?
Yeah, it's mad.
And we've felt out of place the entire time we've been here. But yeah, it's been so special. I think we should mention we saw Daniel Ricciardo very briefly today.
Yes.
Had a little meet and greet with him, which was amazing. It was great to see him after so long since we last filmed with him a few years ago, and we managed to go down the pits. Didn't we? Went into the pits just before practice. We had a little dip in the Red Bull garage. We went up the stairs where the Red Bull garage is, into this room, and Sergio Perez was just walking around the room. I was like, oh, good afternoon, sir.
Also, I just still pinching myself that we're here. And what I would say is, and I'm sure you're going to say this as well, I'll never tire of the messages you guys are sending, that you kind of understand how much we appreciate this and don't take it for granted, because we never want this to be just like the normal, and we are like I said yesterday, the fans that are just like, oh my God, this is crazy. So it's really nice that you guys have messaged and said, you guys, we feel like we're on this journey with you, and it's nice to see us doing it and see sort of real Formula One fans have a really cool experience, because it definitely was. When we were watching, particularly like when we got to the grandstand and watched a bit of the cars, I was like, this sport is like, people can say that we like act up to it, but like it's not. We absolutely love it, and I was just like, this is the best sport in the world. I was just like, this is amazing. Like, I was just loving it. I was just like, this is the best.
I'm not often speechless, because it's literally my job not to be speechless.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of soaking up that atmosphere, soaking up the fact that we were there, and it was almost like a Mum, Dad, I've made it sort of thing.
Like, how have we got here?
In such a short time as well. So we probably sound like a broken record. You probably don't want to hear us thanking you every single time, but this is such a special experience. People have been speaking to me, whether it's on this trip or people that work in the paddock, or whatever, going, oh, how have you been enjoying it? And I'm just there like, it's absolutely amazing.
You've run out of superlatives to kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow overload.
Big wow. So I think that about sums up our experiences from Friday. Tommy, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, it's the best day of the F1 calendar tomorrow, and I can't wait to not just watch it, because I always love this day, but to be there as well. It's going to be amazing. I think it's probably the most unpredictable qualifying of the year so far as well.
Fingers crossed. Best day of the year, I would say Sunday at Sao Paulo, but I think Saturday at Monaco is certainly up there. We can't wait to bring you along with the journey again. Follow us on our socials, Tommy P1 and Matty P1, and we'll give you more Instagram content if you want to see it. And we will see you tomorrow, where we recap qualifying from this hotel room. Hopefully the video hasn't looked that bad, and on audio...
I really hope I pressed record.
If you haven't pressed record, I'm going to throw you out of this window. Bye!
Bye!